way more emotional less emotional, I guess is what I should say, over the last 6-8 months, man, because my blood pressure is high. But every once in a while, when I think about this shit, man, it just bothers me. It really does, man. Back in 3 minutes to Doug Stewart Show. Funny Friday.
To know who is the kid with all the soul. It's my life, I put on this, the world of Chris, so listen in, it unfolds. With food for the mind, improving my lines, beats and using my time, wisely inviting you to fly with me and cry with me and lie with me as I'm looking up to God. Getting my energy, source from my Lord is my clarity, and these facades that's blind in my path, you do the math. These other cats is bringing half, my foundation is love and patience, so I'm built to last. I feel the blast from your attack, cranberry rapping, scaring us. My soul food is more than chicken and asparagus, and greens and grits is from the heart, so now they fearing us. It's more than just music, cause the flow I'm using is serious. Real thought and rap, it's not a lotta. My punchlines touch minds, I got more catchphrases than Mike Piazza. I gotta keep this metaphorically tight, but leave it just loose enough so it'll fit around your life, alright? But all I'm out to spit, and already did. It seems these people making plans to try to stop the kid. But dog, it's obvious, cause I must win. You can't stop it, do the math, it's not happening. For all I'm about to spit, and already did. It seems these people making plans to try to stop the kid. But dog, it's obvious, cause I must win. You can't stop it, do the math, it's not happening. These people wanna see me fail and don't think I can sell. I'm displaying my creations of art, they show and tell. I know that hell's trying to block my trail. I lock myself into my room to fuse together this music that's got to smell success and positive vibes the rest of my life. I plan to help the fail through bad vibes. I lift lines to show and expose minds. My golden balls can show your soul how to shine and hold it on the guard on life's ride. So follow me, I'll take the lead. This industry is in some need of someone to show you what's free, and that's me. I see I'm hitting from a distance. Every sentence I'm spitting, I'm giving sense like Jesus speaking repentance. I'm minister, witness, pen it, the title's mine. Dirty rice writes with whole hearts. These other rappers write ties. That's 10%, that's 90 left to give. So do the math and watch my path as I show you how to live. For all I'm about to spit, and already did. It seems these people making plans to try to stop the kid. But dog, it's obvious, cause I must win. You can't stop it, do the math, it's not happening.
All right, welcome back to the show. The number to the show is 404-822-5467. Once again, 404-822-5467. Today is a fantastic, freaky, funny football Friday, but it's also a funny Friday. We're paying homage to the great Eddie Murphy. Legendary actor. Been active since 1980. Hadn't done a lot lately, and everybody always laughs at the fact that Eddie Murphy seems like he's lost a step 2, 3, 4, or 5. And just doesn't do the things and has the same comedy that he did back in the day. I mean, the man is 56 years old. Eddie Murphy about to be 60 years of age, man. But I remember when dude first hit the scene, man, I mean, he hit like a darn fireball and dominated, man. Had a ton of great movies in the 80s, late 80s, early 90s as well, man. And just a phenomenal talent. And, I mean, his stand-up was crazy. I saw like an interview that he did on one of those late night TV shows, and he was asked whether he was going to come back and do some stand-up at some point. He was non-committal. He's like, I don't know. He doesn't even know if he still has it. If he even, he talked about how things have changed so much over the years, and he kind of questioned whether he still could come out and do it. Because you don't want to come out if you Eddie Murphy, and you don't want to come out. It's already bad enough that he's doing a bunch of lame movies, a lot of people will say, over the last couple of years. But you don't want to come out after you did Raw and after you had Delirious and you have a flop. He set the bar so damn high with those stand-up routines, man. I mean, anything below that, and people are going to be thumbing their nose, and they, haters always look for an opportunity. Oh, Eddie Murphy sucks, and this, that, and the other, and, all the rhetoric you hear about Eddie Murphy. I think that would be interesting. I think that would be good. Kind of reminds me of the story of Dr. Dre, and I've been telling y'all about this documentary called The Defiant Ones. And Dr. Dre had this period. Remember the Aftermath period? Remember when he had left Death Row, and then he started his own label, Aftermath, and Aftermath struggled mightily. A couple of the first album, he may have had 2 albums with Aftermath, where he did all of this stuff, man, and it flopped. They didn't sell any records at all, really. And then, obviously things flipped when he found Eminem and 50 Cent or whatever, man. But people were questioning Dr. Dre. Had he lost it? And, does he still have it? And once again, eventually he got back into stride and signed some big acts and did some big things and, did what Dr. Dre does. But Eddie Murphy, man, if he were to come back and do a stand-up, an all-out stand-up, man, that shit would be phenomenal. But it's got to be correct, or y'all ninjas would kill him. I'm telling you. Let me read some messages in the on the chat on Spreaker.com, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. Willie D, I'm gonna go ahead and finish reading Willie D's comment before I went to the break. I wasn't in a good space talking about these damn things going on in this world today, sports and beyond. Willie D says you got to give Hugh the benefit of the doubt. We don't know the question in full context. We all know Hugh experienced racism, was harmed by white privilege while coaching. Yeah, that's what makes it even more interesting. That his obstacles in becoming a head coach, probably a lot of them were due to the fact that he was black. And something like this, when you're trying to gain equality, when you're trying to progress as a people, why would Hugh Jackson be against that? Okay, maybe he doesn't do it. Maybe he doesn't take part in these demonstrations and these protests or whatever. Just shut the fuck up, though. Period. Why would he? And this is kind of what I said yesterday, man, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. Imagine if all the civil rights leaders, I don't know, whoever you can think of, Malcolm X, Dr. Martin Luther King, Medgar Evers, anybody you can think of. You can go all the way back to Harriet Tubman. If Harriet Tubman had the whole attitude like these people want us to have in 2017, just be quiet. Don't worry about it. Just take it. Why do you want change? Why do you want to progress? Why do you want more equality? Just be quiet. Just take it. Y'all actually got it pretty good in relative terms to 400 years ago. Why don't you just take it? If all the civil rights leaders before us were to have that attitude, we'd still be picking cotton. Fuck that. Fuck that. Squeaky wheel gets the oil. Simple as that. Period. And that has worked for us swimmingly in this country. Right. Mickey Ficky's clapped back from the beginning of time, ever since we got on shore over here. And if they didn't clap back, the term they used in 2017, if people before us didn't clap back, where would we be at? We'd still be in the same position we were 400 years ago. But it took somebody to say, nah, this is some bullshit, and then somebody else to say, nah, this is some bullshit, and then somebody else and somebody else and somebody else, and then you got a big group of people saying this is some bullshit. And Hugh Jackson. Like that, I keep coming back to that. That's fine. Hugh Jackson, Who else? Anybody you can think of that over the last, Hugh Jackson, Paris Denard, Jason Whitlock, Tim Brown, Jermichael Finley, just don't say shit at all. That's your best bet. Just don't say shit. And I apologize, man. I just realized I've been cussing up a storm here today, man. Just don't say nothing. Ugh. Oh, man, this shit bothers me, man, so much. I can't even start to explain to you, man. It just bothers me. And that Paris Denard dude, man, whenever I see him or Jason Whitlock or anybody in that realm, man, it's just unbelievable to me. It's unbelievable to me. So, no, I'm not giving Hugh Jackson. I'm not getting none of these coaches. John Lynch, the GM for the San Francisco 49ers. I'm not giving none of these cat no break. None of them. The hell with them. And we got to talk about sports here, man. We got to get back into sports. But you know what? You know what, man? And this is kind of what Ryan was talking about, man, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. Like, over the last month, we can't escape it. You know, as much as I would like to just, you know, get my mind off of all of this stuff today, man, and talk about sports, like everything, all the major stories they kind of culminate around this Colin Kaepernick protest. And then when you add on top of it what happened in Charlottesville, Virginia this past weekend, somebody dying, neo-Nazis, white nationalists, the KKK. Like it's like the perfect storm of this conversation that we've had on this show and on other shows like it across America. And we just can't escape it, man. And it's like right there in your face. And then you got these players saying they're going to protest. And, you know, Marshawn Lynch and Malcolm Jenkins. And it's just the perfect storm that we have to talk about this, man. And I don't mind talking about it. But the problem when I start talking about it, man, is it just bothers me to my core. It just bothers me to my core how people would just want to ignore, you know, the obvious argument and the obvious complaint. You know, if you've been under a rock, unless you've been under a rock, you have to have seen what's been going on in this country for the last couple of years. Okay? And Colin Kaepernick basically brought the whole thing to a head. You know, he's the guy that was the provocateur in this whole thing, and everybody else is paying attention now. Like, yeah, you know what? The words of the national anthem, for the most part, to black people is bullshit. You know? And yeah, wow, I didn't know at the end of the song that Francis Scott Key wrote, they're talking about killing slaves because they wanted to be free. How dare you niggas want to be free? And you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, man. All right. Yeah, how dare y'all want to be free? Yeah. The words of the national anthem that they conveniently cut out, just so they wouldn't be so obvious to ninjas. Is them talking about, you know, if you want to be free, we'll kill your ass first. You know, that's part of the national anthem. You know? I'm just tired, man. I'm just tired. I swear to you, I'm just tired. All right, we're going to take a quick little break, man. Back in 3 minutes. This is the Doug Stewart Show. I think now we're caught up. Yeah, we've been on for an hour. We're not actually caught up. We'll do 15 minutes extra today on the show. So we're an hour into the show. Hour number 2 of the Doug Stewart Show coming up next. Don't forget, Funny Friday, the great Eddie Murphy. Don't go away.
take a joke too far and get in trouble. That's why I haven't been on the